Hello guys, today on Practice Strokes, I'm going to show you how to do an ombre background. And with the ombre background, we're using different colors of aqua, teal, aqua, and wicker white. We're using Folk Art multi-surface paint. We have it in 8 ounces and 2 ounces. And in a lot of colors, we have 8 ounces. So I wanted to share with you, I'm using my flat 1-stroke brushes and an angle 1-stroke brush, and these 3 different Scruffies. So that's a signature brush of mine. And so I'm just going to get started by wetting my brush first. And we're not really using water or medium on what we're getting ready to do. And so what I want to share with you, let's see if we can put this over here, right where you guys can see it better. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is pick up teal. And we're going to go slip, slap, slip, slap, slip, slap. And when we do this, we move it around from side to side, filling this area. Okay, so back and forth, back and forth. Nice to have the canvas because it gives you a little bit different texture. Okay. And then I'm going to come up. And by the way, you want to do the sides when you're doing it on a canvas. Let's do a couple of this. Now, this is going to be exciting because we're going to do these evergreen trees. And I use these for a lot of my paintings. I'm even going to do some of this look at our convention this year. So there we are. So now I want to get to another color. So I'm going to wipe off a little bit and start doing aqua. So I'm working that in. You can see there's just a little bit of color change. So I can add a teeny bit of white and work this in. Just a little bit of white so you see the difference. But since this is still wet, I can work it into the teal and have a nice transition. See, bringing that teal up into that aqua zone. Okay, all across here. Slip, slap. Slip, slap, slip, slap, back and forth to the side. Okay. Now, if I get carried away, I can come up and bring more of the teal back up. Let's see, now I'm going to come back here and do these sides to have those match that color. So let's bring a little bit of dark back up in here, a little bit of teal, and we don't want a straight line. So watch how this goes. So you can make a nice blend. And just have a little bit of texture. Okay, so I'm going to wipe that off and I'm going to get white. So we want this white with a dirty brush. I wiped most of it off because what's going to happen when I come down here, I'm picking up a little bit of the aqua that's still wet. Slip, slap, slip, slap, slip, slap. But you saw how quick I moved. Get the sides, slip, slap, slip, slap, slip, slap. Okay. And then I do the sides and the top. And you want to do that all while the brush is wet. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to wash out that brush. And I'm going to show you some fun ways to start putting your trees in here. All right, so one of the things that happens is I'm going to use my 3/4 inch Scruffy. You want to keep these brushes dry. You want to fluff the brush. Okay, I think y'all see me do that with a Scruffy brush before. So I created this Scruffy brush years ago and took it to plaid some 25 years ago. And we've had we did have grandfather's Scruffy, which is big for wall painting, large canvases, and then we had miniature ones for centers of little teeny flowers. Okay, so I'm getting sap green, bouncing. My brushes are made for my technique, so if you're out there trying to use other brushes and you're not getting the same result, just remember that I designed all my brushes around the paints that we have. These are thicker paints, so we don't have a thin paint. We have natural hairs on this brush, which most of mine are synthetic nylon. And what happens here is that this thick paint is wonderful to do wet on wet, which is how I do a lot of my strokes. And my brushes are made with bristles that are different. The amount of bristles and the density of the bristles is so important with my technique. So if you like one stroke, make sure you check out my brushes. We have a value pack that's less than $20. And it has 10 brushes. And then, as you might have seen already, we have other brushes that 13-piece brush set, or even some single brushes. All right, so I'm going to leave that out just in case, but I want the dark in the background. So the sap greens in the background. And then I can start doing a couple of things. I want you to see how to use the angle brush. So say I want to bring some limey green or citrus green tapping on here. So I made, let's see this. I made the sap on the heel. The short end's the heel. The point is the toe. All right. So I'm going to pounce after I've got some sap. I'm going to keep coming here and pouncing the citrus. But I want you to see on the angle of the brush, I'm pouncing with the point of the toe goes first. Okay. So if you look at this, okay, I want to get more of the sap. And I'm going to pick up a teeny bit of white and work it into the citrus so we get a light color. But I have to have that sap, so I'm pouncing down on the sap. Okay, and so we just want to get just these tips. More sap, more citrus. See the saps down here. So I keep coming in here and getting little bits of the, all right. So I want you to see up close. All right, so then we're going to come out here and we're going to come back in here. So see, I keep dipping the sap and stroking. And keep getting citrus. All right. Sap and citrus. Okay, see how I'm layering that on there? All right, so those are some of the back ones. You can get some idea there. That's with an angle brush. Now let's come in here with a 1/2" Scruffy. And so if I put sap and put a little bit of citrus, I want you to see the other way we can do this. We can come right in here. Okay, we're going to do a little bit more over here. But let me just grab teeny bits of yellow. And that yellow isn't quite bright enough. So we can use, let's use daffodil. No, that's bumblebee. Let me see what the difference in the color. No, that was bumblebee. That's why it's not as bright. And here's daffodil. See, I can't see much difference in the two. So this one's got some brightness in it. So there we go. So I am working it in to the sap. A bit more. Okay, so I want to see a brighter and a darker. All right, with the citrus. But so it's kind of nice to see some layers in here. All right. So what I want to see is that we're going to come in here and what we want to see in some of this lighter area in here is some whites. All right. So I'm still going to get sap and leave what's on the Scruffy brush and get some white. Now look. Okay, I can get some citrus and some white too. There we go. Citrus and white. Do a lot of coral for the ocean scenes like this with different colors. I just want you to see that we can make it, this is citrus on here, but we can make it pink melon and reds with yellows for coral. And it's the same thing. We're just getting different looks. And then as you're working on this, this is all with a Scruffy. So I want you to see that this just looks like one little ball. So I'm going to make sure that we come back in here with some sap. And bring this on down, okay? So we want some, sometimes I've used a fan brush. Okay, so the fan brush. And I can just tap on the chisel. And do it taller. We can still do Christmas trees the same way too. Okay, but then what we want to do when we come in here is get a different look right in here. Okay, so it just looks like different levels. And if I'm doing seaweed, I just do taller ones in there. But I want you to see that's the fan brush. We do all kinds of trees with the fan brush. But then I want you to, let's pull another color in here. Just putting some pink melon just so you can see this. Isn't that kind of fun? All right, now you can do dry Scruffy. That's why I'm not using any of these. They have to be washed and show you how to use a Scruffy if you watch some of the Scruffy. All right, so look, I can come in here. It's better when everything's dry. And everything here is pretty wet right now. I'm going to put some pink in here and then come back with little bits of white on the pink. Really needs to dry, but you can get the idea. It's the same pouncing, all right? All right, do you see I pounce it till there's no white and then you go back. Now, I want you to see that it's going to keep getting muddy as long as you keep adding that on there. So you have to let it dry. And I want you to see, let's clean that Scruffy out without going into water. I want to get magenta and white. And let's look at it here where it's dry. Look how pretty. All right, but that's what it will look like over here when some of this green dries, because it's just too much right now, because it just shows mud. See how it goes to mud? Many of y'all get mud. And so I just want to show you how to not get mud is take your blow dryer. I don't have mine right in front of me. And so now I got that kind of muddy looking. So if I go back to my fresh paint, and I'm going to put magenta and a little bit of white. Muddy. Let's don't get it muddy. Let's put magenta. See how the darker magenta is? Then tap white. All right. So one way we can do it, let me get a paper towel. One way you can do it if you're in a pickle, like I'm trying to do this fast. Look, I can take that off and it actually goes back down to the teal. Now, sometimes I want my teal to show and not so much greenery, but I just make sure I let some peep through. Okay, so we're trying to stay out of the wet green. Magenta, white. Okay, so there you go. Just imagine that at the bottom of the sea. All right, the other thing I want to show you is that we can take a paintbrush and pick up some white and slip slap just the corner. Are you learning anything? I hope so. I just want you to see how to slip slap the background, how to pounce a little bit scruffy to make trees. And then coming in here and making some clouds. Slip slap the corner. I like to do these sometimes instead of just scruffy clouds, but you're welcome to do scruffy clouds. All right. You can also go on the bottom of clouds and get a straight line. Let me get a little bit of water. Okay, so a little bit down here and a little bit peeping down. There you go. Isn't that kind of nice? If it's way far away, it would be really loose. Okay. All right, I hope you like today's lesson. You want to learn more detail, one stroke. The One Stroke Advantage is a membership that I have here for you. And it just hit join and just learn about it. And then go to onestroke.com and check out my brushes. All right. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.